If this is your first time, I hope you'll stay. Espero que te quedes. Now, today's video is for those people who are doing higher Spanish and would like a little bit of a revision. Now, I've done a couple of videos of this style before, but you can never have enough because it's revision material. Now, that's not to say that if you're doing foundation, you can't benefit from this, because you absolutely can. Even if it's just a few odd words that you pick up, it's going to be something. So if you're doing foundation, you can also stick around, especially if your aim is to continue with Spanish later on. Okay, so this will help you out in your speaking exam and also in your writing. So get a pen and make sure you take a note of all the things you didn't know before, and if you find that you know a lot of these things already, that's fantastic news. It means that you're on top of it and you are actually getting a lot of revision done already, or you're just remembering everything from previous lessons. So that is it. Let us continue. Now, one of the main structures that we see when we're at a higher level are words which you then join on to the infinitive. Now, when I talk about the infinitive, because we will talk about the infinitive quite a lot, because I have a lot of examples which means you will have to employ the infinitive. I'm going to go over what the infinitive is, just in case we have any younger viewers who might not already know. So the infinitive is the verb just as it is, not conjugated. So in Spanish, infinitives are the verbs that you see ending in AR, ER, or IR. So AR would be amar, for example, that's a kind of example, to love. I'm not saying I loved or I will love, I'm just saying love, to love. Okay, amar, so that would be an AR infinitive. An ER infinitive would be, for example, comer, which would be to eat. To eat is the infinitive, eat. I'm not saying I ate, I'm not saying I will eat, I'm just saying it as it is in its natural form, to eat. The verb, a alone, just as it is. And IR, which would be vivir, vivir, okay, which would be to live. That's infinitive. When you see the verb unconjugated, just like that. To live, to dance, to play, to jump, to sing. I think I said that already. Okay, infinitive. So, that being said, we're going to start with our first example. The first word that I feel as though you absolutely need, especially when you're writing, to connect ideas. Because you have to remember that when you're doing Spanish at a higher level, the vocabulary is now a little bit more complex. So because you're writing more complicated sentences, they're longer sentences, you need words to connect the ideas, right? So this is a lovely one for you. Además. Además is like furthermore, in addition. You might have said something and you want to add more to what you've said, so then you would use además and explain a little bit more, in a little bit more detail what you meant. Sin embargo is quite similar. Okay, you will see sin embargo a lot, and it's nice when you employ it. Okay, it means however, it's pretty much the same. Okay, however. You might have put an idea across, but you want people to add something else, and you say, well, I said this. However, you might consider this other thing. Okay? These are the most common ones I reckon. And notwithstanding means pretty much the same. Okay? Nevertheless, though, we use these words quite a lot in English, and so we have to employ them in Spanish as well. So make sure you know these three words, and you can use them when you just want to add more information or change perspective perhaps. Okay? So for example, with sin embargo, yo trabajo mucho, sin embargo, encuentro el tiempo para estudiar. Okay? So I work a lot. Nevertheless, or however, I still find time to study. It's a very useful word. Okay? All these three are very useful. Okay, let's now move on to number 2. We love this word, ojalá. Ojalá. Ojalá pudiera plus the infinitive. Okay, you can play around with this quite a lot. So, I wish I could. Okay, I wish I could. And what is it that you really want to express? This is a fab sentence to have. I wish I could go and live out in the wild. I wish I could learn something new. I wish I could visit. I wish I could explain. I wish I could make you understand. So many things you could add with this. Can you think of an example? Ojalá pudiera explicar lo que significa para mí. Okay, if only I could explain. So, ojalá is I wish or if only. Okay, that's the way we express it in English. If only I could. If only I could express. If only I could explain. Ojalá pudiera. If only, or you can also say I wish I could. It all means the same. Okay, it's tantamount to I wish if only. Ojalá pudiera. Ojalá pudiera explicar esto mejor. If only I could explain this better. Okay? So this structure is a beautiful one for you to remember. Okay? There are actually a lot of structures where you need or where you can apply the infinitive. And so these ones that I'm giving you today, just make sure you master these. Okay? Right. Next one, hace, which I love. It's just a word that tells you ago, right? Time ago. Okay? So hace plus a period of time. So you might choose to talk about something that happened a few days ago. Hace un par de días. Okay? So a few days ago would be hace varios días, or 2 weeks ago, hace 2 semanas. Okay? Hace period of time would be, let's say, 2 semanas. Semanas. So that would be 2 weeks ago. So you put the period of time that you want. It could be 2 days ago, hace 2 días. It could be 2 weeks ago, as the example. It could be 3 months ago, hace 3 meses. Could be 4 years ago, hace 4 años. Okay, so this is lovely for you to have and use as necessary. Right, the next one we have is feelings. Feelings. No aguanto. Do you know what no aguanto means? Aguantar. We've seen this. To put up with something. Aguantar. No aguanto. I can't stand. Okay? No aguanto because I can't stand. I can't bear. Okay? I can't bear whatever it is. And your infinitive. Okay? No aguanto ver cosas negativas en la TV. Okay, I can't bear watching negative things on the TV. Okay, I can't bear it, I can't stand it. Okay, right. So I can't bear or I can't stand. Bear or stand. Okay, whichever you feel comfortable using, you choose. It means the same. Okay. Me apasiona cuando estamos hablando en español. It's more passionate, isn't it? So that's what it means. I'm passionate about, plus the infinitive. Okay? I'm passionate about, me apasiona. I'm passionate about, and as I said, you're going to add the infinitive. Me apasiona bailar, bailar. You see? Bailar ends in a AR. Me apasiona vivir en la costa. See? I'm passionate about living by the coast. Okay? Practice. It gets easier the more you do it, okay? Me apasiona. What is it that you're passionate about? You can add it down below, but make sure you are indeed using the infinitive. Make sure the word that comes after me apasiona or no soporto is a infinitive. That is not to say you can never use it without an infinitive, but it's just while you're practicing to make these sentences, well, we're going to stick to this form. Okay? Right. Next one. Dado que. Dado que. I've stuck it in because we tend to overuse words like por qué, because, don't we? And dado que is just a little bit more of a higher phrase. Okay? It's a bit more advanced. So instead of saying por qué, which is because, you would use dado que, which means given. Given that, whatever it might be. Or since, okay? I'm doing this since, yeah? Or due to, whatever it is. Dado que estaba mala ayer, no pude venir a clase, okay? Since I was sick yesterday, I couldn't come to class. Dado que estaba mala is the same as enferma, no? Enferma or enfermo, okay? I couldn't come to class. Dado que. Use that one. Your teacher is going to really appreciate it. And they'll know you've been studying. Okay, next one. We have to stick the more complex verbs in. Me hubiera gustado. Remember, hubiera or me hubiese, you could also use, but we use this more. Me hubiera gustado. I would have liked. Okay, I would have liked to have whatever. I would have liked. Plus infinito. Pero me hubiera gustado ver los resultados. I would have liked to have seen the results. Okay, I would have liked to have seen them. Okay, me hubiera gustado ver los resultados. I would have liked to have seen the results. Okay. Next one. Siempre he soñado con. Okay? Word for word. Always I have dreamt with. So we will translate it, I've always dreamt of. Remember in English, we dream of, we dream about. In Spanish, con, with. But we don't speak like that, it just sounds odd in English. I've always dreamt of. Siempre he soñado con trabajar en el extranjero. I've always dreamt of working abroad. Okay? I've always dreamt, or with ed is also okay, dreamt of working abroad. In fact, I'm doing it at the moment, aren't I? Siempre he soñado con trabajar en el extranjero. I've always dreamt of working abroad. Okay guys, let's go. We're always having to give our opinions, whether it's in speaking or it's in writing. So make sure we have at least one example of Make sure you have at least one example of saying, make sure you have at least one example of giving your opinions. Make sure you have at least one example of giving your opinion. So, desde mi punto de vista, from my point of view, or from my perspective. Okay? From my point of view or my perspective. Okay? It's the same. I love this. Nice and easy. You will probably use this more for speaking. Okay, yo sepa. Okay? As far as I'm aware, I feel as though that sounds a little bit more formal in English, but you use it for speaking. Okay? As far as I'm aware, okay? Que yo sepa, siguen ahí hablando. As far as I'm aware, they're still in there talking. Okay? As far as I'm aware, I don't know any different. Okay? Que yo sepa. Right. Last one. Uno de los ejemplos más. When you're talking or you're writing about whatever the topic might be, you might want to give an example of what you're trying to illustrate. So you might get an example from a figure, from the news, from scientific investigations, whatever it might be, from experiments, whatever. You might use this sentence. Uno de los ejemplos más sorprendentes. I love this. One of the most shocking examples. I love that. Uno de los ejemplos más. One of the most shocking examples. Or maybe you don't want to say shocking. Maybe you want to say clear. Claros. Yeah? One of the clearest example of whatever it is, and then you would add what your example is. Or maybe you want to use interesting, interesantes. Love this sentence for you. Obviously you can change the adjective as you wish. Okay? Uno de los ejemplos más sorprendentes. One of the most shocking example, and you give your shocking example. What did you find so shocking? Was it the number? Was it that statistic? Was it a quote by somebody of importance? Okay? So that is it, guys. Make sure you go down the list. Make sure you are clear about what an infinitive is, so then you don't conjugate the verbs when you're not supposed to, because I do see that quite a lot when I'm correcting people's work. Okay? So with that, I'm going to leave you, and I hope you walk away with something useful from this lesson. Okay? Take care. Until next time. Bye.